Hutchings' house was plain as a barn and sat in an isolated valley and lay like carpet at the foot of the mountains. It was operated by James Hutchings, his wife Elvira, and her mother, Mrs. Sprout. The Hutchings children were Floy, her little sister Rosie, and her baby brother William. Floy was the first white child born in Yosemite Valley. She tore around it like a squirrel, so that was what they taught her. Papa said Yosemite Valley was the most beautiful place on earth. Floy had never been anywhere else. Floy filled the hours by trotting to family's pet parrot, balancing on a plank by the woodpile, making mud pies and capturing frogs. Papa wrote magazine articles that made people want to come and see the spectacular scenery for themselves. They made the difficult journey on the horseback, to stay in the hotel and go on Papa's guided tours. Floyd had barged up the tourists and say, "Why did you come? Do snakes scare you? They don't scare me. If you get bit, I'll save you. What about bears?" Then she growled at them. "What an odd little child," they would mutter. Papa let Floyd go on his tours, but once, when the group was too potty to suit her, she left them to follow a deer track and wasn't found until after dark. "I can't mind you on a business at the same time," Papa said. "You'll have to stay home from now on." Another time the boys at the stable dared her to ride an unbroken horse. "Where have you been, you wild thing?" Granny Sprout cried when she came in. "Clean yourself off before the guests sees you." At night, Papa read Shakespeare aloud to the guests. Afterward, Floyd watched them undress. A lady heard her snickering and complained, "Mr. Hutchings, that doll of yours is a little savage." Papa decided that customers needed more privacy, such as would be provided by walls between the rooms. He bought a water-powered sawmill, but he couldn't run it and make the hotel improvements by himself. One day a man sauntered up to the hotel as if the fates had sent him. "I'm John Muir," he said. "I'm looking for work." "He's just a man," Papa cried after they had talked. "He's a sawyer, a carpenter, and an inventor." Floyd dangled a lizard in front of the man. Tourist ladies usually strode. "Hello, little goldquid," Moore said to the lizard. To Floyd he said, "I think he wants to be free, so just as we do." Floyd stared at him. She put the lizard on the ground. "Don't pester the man," Papa said. Papa and John Moyer set up the sawmill and cupboards. John Moyer built himself a small cabin, slinging his bed from the ceiling and letting a stream run right along his dirt floor. John Moyer worked hard, but he took time to wander through the valley. One day Floyd followed him along the river. He waded into the current and stretched out on a rock. After a few minutes, Floyd couldn't keep quiet. "What are you doing?" she called. "I'm finding out how it feels to be a river rock," he said. "Rocks don't feel," she said. "Maybe they do. We don't know how to ask them," he said. Floyd asked, "Are you crazy?" John Moore laughed.